No, no. I don't want to do. What? Oh, hi. I didn't realize I was on. I wanted to come to you to talk about the trade of the five Taliban for our sergeant. Because more information is becoming available. And the first thing I want to say is all of the information is coming out on Bowe and his parents. Personally, I don't care if this guy is Benedict Arnold or Audie Murphy. And if you don't know who Audie Murphy is, he was one of the most decorated U.S. veterans in World War II. So, I don't care if he was either extreme. He's still in the military, and the only justice he deserves, if he did wrong, is military justice. Unfortunately, I'm afraid that that's means as much as our civilian justice system. When you think about what's going on with the Fort Hood shooter, thanks a lot, liberals. But this trade is a perfect example of Obama ruling by his pen and his phone. He said he was going to do it, and he's doing it. Violating the law with the 30-day rule for any transfers. I'm pretty sure that would include a transfer to a foreign country. No respect for anything except his own agenda. And one has to wonder exactly why this was pushed. Has to have purely political reasons. I'm just waiting for the Democrats to start coming out of the woodwork as we get closer to November, talking about how they freed the one American POW in this conflict. Really? That means that if he is a deserter, which, if all of the emails, if everything I've read is true, that would have to be covered up. But what is even more troubling, not really troubling, it's obvious to anyone with open eyes, is how the Democrats are closing ranks about this. They are just completely locking up, falling in step, swearing their loyalty to Obama. Obama did the right thing. It was a window of opportunity. We had to do it. We had to take our chance. We had to do it now. Otherwise, an American would have died. We cannot leave behind any Americans. Sorry about that. We can't leave behind any Americans. Do you want to talk about the Marine in Mexico? Do you want to talk about Benghazi? 4 Americans dead. No effort at all made to rescue them, to provide aerial support, tactical support. No effort at revenge. I'm not going to believe a damn thing another one of these Democrats says. And I would suggest the same to all of you. These Democrats, after Monday, yesterday, and the new EPA regulations involving power plants by 2030, many are attacking the president. Hey, Democrats, Democrats. A woman that's running against Mitch McConnell, she said she never do anything against the Kentucky coal industry. Bully, bully. A gentleman that's running to replace Rockefeller said something. Oh, he said that not only will he fight those regulations, he wants there to be congressional oversight. I heard Ted Cruz say that. But this is where he differs from Ted Cruz. He only wants congressional oversight for 5 years. That's enough time for him to get reelected 2 times so he can get his retirement check. Because if I remember correctly, you have to do 3 terms as in the House of... Wait a minute. Wasn't Rockefeller a senator? So he just wants to make sure he gets reelected 1 time, but he doesn't even need that to get his retirement check. Maybe he's just intending to cash out as much as he can as a senator. You know, don't trust these Democrats. Just as they are falling in step with Obama over negotiating with terrorists, Claire McCaskill actually had the balls to say it was a prisoner exchange just like any other. No, it wasn't. When has the U.S. ever negotiated, the federal government, when has the U.S. ever negotiated a prisoner exchange with a country that we were not formally at war with, at least during the time that the prisoners were taken? You might be able to go back in time and find some examples, but I can't recall any in the 20th century. Even some of the darker side of spying that took place and the exchanges that were made with the KGB within the CIA, that's still, the USSR, no matter what we thought of them, they were a legitimate country. These guys are not a legitimate country. They are not a recognized foe. They are terrorists. How you deal with terrorists is the same way Spetsnaz dealt with terrorists in the 80s, I believe. Yes, it was the 80s. It was before the fall of the Berlin Wall. In Lebanon, during their civil war in Beirut, 4 Russians, or maybe it was 3, I'm sorry, I'm playing off memory here, were captured. I'm not sure. I want to say it was Hezbollah. Demanded that the Syrians stop their advance in Lebanon. Gorbachev contacted Syria, and they actually got their way. Syria stopped. He contacted Assad, and Assad pulled out of Lebanon. Well, that wasn't enough for these people, if you want to call terrorist people. They actually demanded more, and to prove that they were not playing around, immediately killed one of the Russian prisoners. So, how did Spetsnaz, which is Russian Special Forces, but it travels the gambit, everything from police all the way to KGB, local police. So how did the KGB's elite Spetsnaz react? They flew into Lebanon, they found out who was responsible, they took the number 2 man, kidnapped him, chopped him up into little itty bitty tiny pieces, put him in a box, and sent him to the #1 man of the organization that did the kidnappings. And then they went and talked to a cleric that was very influential, a Muslim cleric. And they explained to him that it was in the best interest to prevent things like this from happening again and again and again, for that the Russians should be released so they can go home. This Muslim cleric apparently rubbed his beard and said, "Yes, I think it is in Allah's will that this be done." The next day, the remaining Russians were released. This is how you deal with terrorists. You don't show them no mercy. And liberals can cry all they want. They're forgetting the cardinal rule. The winner writes the history books. I can turn around and go up against somebody half my size who's unarmed. I can mow them down with an AK-47, but if I write the history book, they were in an Abrams tank and I disarmed them in hand-to-hand combat, and they were 7 feet tall and weighed twice as much as me, all muscle. And there's not going to be anyone to say anything otherwise. Because honor is bullshit. What matters is victory. What matters is coming out with, I don't want to say without being bloodied, because anytime you go into a conflict, you have to realize you can get bloodied. But what matters is that you don't get bloodied as much as the other guy. So, don't trust the Democrats. Hold Obama responsible for still yet another scandal. Much love to all you real people and good Americans. I'll talk to you again soon.